Good morning, students. My name is Dorothy Saikia, and I am a social work academic counselor of Nagar College, IGNOU. Today, I am going to discuss the topic, the types of research. So, before that, I would like to discuss why people opt for research, or what is the motivation that has led people to do research. So, um, so people do research to get a degree with consequential benefits, and some people have a desire to face challenges, and they have a tendency to solve the unsolved, which remains a mystery, and they try to solve that mystery. So some people have a tendency to know the unknown, and for that is the factor why people opt for research. And maybe some people have the creativity in them, and I think research is the best platform to show their creativity. So in order to show their creativity, people may opt for research, may wanted to do a research. Then to do some people want to do something for their society, and like to contribute something towards the society. And apart from it, uh, people opt research to get a respectable post, or respectable positions. Maybe due to employment conditions, they want to do research, or as I have told you earlier, that in order to know the unknown. Some people have a kind of inquisitiveness to know, to go into depth. So for that reason, people may do research. Or some people try to understand the cause and effect relationship, which is called causal relationship, cause and effect. So what is the cause and what is the effect? So this cause has led to this such type of consequences. So people want to know, some people may want to know what is the cause that has led to the consequence. So for that reasons, people may choose to do a research, or in order to like broaden this social thinking or awakening. So these may be the factors why people do research. Now we will discuss the types of research. So there are various types of research. The first one is descriptive versus analytical research. So what is descriptive research? Descriptive research includes surveys and fact-finding inquiries. So descriptive research is mainly concerned with finding the facts. What are the facts? And it focuses on survey. It gives emphasis or importance on survey. The main purpose of descriptive research is the description of the present state. So focus in descriptive research, the main emphasis or focus is given on the present situation, like what is happening at present. So the present factor is taken into consideration, is the present situation is given more emphasis in descriptive research. And descriptive research is also known as ex post facto research. So the another name of descriptive research is ex post facto research. Here, one of the main characteristics of descriptive research is that the researcher has no control over the variables. He can't just control or manipulate the variables. Whatever variables are there, it will remain the same. He can't just manipulate it. Okay. So he has no control, the researcher, that is, the researcher has no control on the variables, over the variables, sorry. But he can just only report what has happened or what is happening. He can report what, like, he will give emphasis on the present situation, and he can also take the help of the past, what has happened or what is happening, but he can't just predict what will happen. The name itself suggests is that descriptive. It's a kind of description. It gives emphasis on surveys and fact finding. That is, what are the facts, what are the underlying factors. Fact, it doesn't give importance on the experimentation. Okay, it has nothing to do with the experimentation. So in descriptive research, the researcher seeks to measure such items as the frequency of shopping, what is the rate of shopping, like the frequency, how much, how many people are opting for online shoppings, kind of. So what is the frequency of shopping, so how many people, who are the target group that are mostly involved with the shopping, or who are the beneficiaries of the online shopping, you can just say. So here importance is given on the present situation. And preference of the people. Here we can, descriptive research can also study the preference of the people, what people prefers to wear, or what people prefers to study, what people prefers to eat. So that kind of things will come under descriptive research. So just do one thing, remember that descriptive research gives emphasis on the present situation. Here the researcher tries to discover the causes. The researcher will try to discover the causes. What are the causes behind, say some situation is some kind of situation is happening, and here the descriptive research tries to find out the cause. Okay, but here they cannot control the variables. They cannot manipulate, as I have already said that they cannot manipulate or control the variables. Here let me clarify the fact a little bit more. To discover the causes, it attempts to discover the causes. Here suppose preference of the people. Okay, here we will figure it out that why people preference of the people is moving towards junk food. Okay, so why, what are the causes? So that can be a descriptive research. The researcher will try to find out that what are the causes which has led the people to jump over, or to prefer, or to have junk food, or give preference to junk food than home meals. Okay, then comes again the same thing is repeating again and again. In descriptive research, survey methods of all kinds so here in descriptive research, survey methods are basically used. Whereas in analytical research, the researcher has to use facts or information already available. Here in analytical research, the researcher, he will give emphasis on the facts that are already available. He has nothing to do with the present situation. He is more concerned with the facts or information that is already available. We have the materials, we have the informations in hand, and here we will just analyze the information. Here we will analyze whatever information or facts we have, we will just try to analyze those facts and we have to make a critical evaluation of those materials. Whatever materials we have, whatever facts or informations we have in analytical research, we need to make a critical evaluation of those informations. I think I'm able to make you understand. I just hope if you haven't understood anything, just let me know in the comments section. So now moving to the next type. The second type of research is applied versus fundamental research. The second one is applied research versus fundamental research. So research can either be applied research or action research or fundamental research. So research can be either applied, action, or fundamental research. Here let me clarify one fact. Applied research is also known as action research. Applied, that is, we just apply it in order to find a solution for, if we want an immediate solution for a problem, then we can move to applied research or action research. Action, to take an action. Okay, so action research and applied research are the same. Whenever we need an immediate solution, the society is facing a problem that needs immediate solution. So here we can use the applied research or action research. Whereas the fundamental research is known as pure and basic research. So pure and basic research here in fundamental research or pure or basic research give emphasis on formulating a theory. Okay, so here the fundamental research or pure research is more concerned with formulation of a new theory, so as to contribute, so that it can contribute something or bring something newness towards the society or the country. So here fundamental research give more emphasis on building a theory, whereas in applied research, just try to understand the fact that applied research here we have to apply the research in order to get immediate solution to a problem. Here we will use the applied research, but in order to build a theory which needs to be proved, so in that situation we need to go for fundamental research or pure research. Applied research, as I have already stated, that applied research aims at finding a solution for an immediate problem facing a society or an industrial business organization. So suppose an industry is going through a recession period, going through a lot of recession. So here the applied research will be used to figure out what has led the industry to reach this recession period. So we can figure out the causes of the recession, or why the business is going down, or why there is a lot of trouble in the business. Here we can figure it out only through the use of applied research. We need to apply some tactics here in applied research or action research, and only we can just figure out the problems of the business organization or business or industrial organization. Whatever problems, whenever we need an immediate solution to a problem, we will just go for applied research. Okay. Then comes, whereas in fundamental research is mainly concerned with generalization and with the formulation of a theory. So what is generalization? So what is generalization? Means general statement. Generalization is nothing but making a general statement, the general statement of a people. Okay, this is called generalization. So here in fundamental research is mainly concerned with generalization, to make a general statement or to formulate a theory. Just one, remember one thing, that pure or applied research or fundamental research or research is concerned with the concerned with the concerned with the formulation of a theory. So research concerning some natural phenomena or relating to pure mathematics are the examples of fundamental research. So as I have already mentioned that pure research or fundamental research is concerned with the formulation of theory. So here if one if a researcher wants to do sorry, just give me some time. So the formulas, whatever formulas we have read in our mathematics book or in our science book, whatever formulas or like theories, whatever we have whatever theories we have, like Newton's law or kind of that, those theories are the examples of pure and basic research. So these theories are formulated on the basis of some observable facts, and those needs to be approved. We can't just make a theory of like without any making any without any basis. Okay, so and in order to make a theory, there needs some kind of basis, and it has to be approved. It has some kind of fundamental it needs some basis. So here fundamental research just don't make I'm making things more complicated. I'm trying to I think I am making it more, I'm making you confused, and so don't get confused. Just remember one thing, that research whenever we whenever we come across the term fundamental research, we'll just try to understand the fact that it is concerned with formulation of the theory. That's it. So research research studies concerning human behavior carried on with a view to make general statement about human behavior are examples of fundamental research. So when a researcher wants to do a research on wants to do a study or research on human behavior, that will be considered as fundamental research. Research to identify social, political or economic trend that may affect a particular institution or marketing research or evaluation research are examples of applied research. So the researches which try to identify the social conditions or social, economic or business problems, social problems, economic problems, business problems, or marketing research, like that needs an immediate solution, that needs like social problems, whatever the COVID-19 that we are facing right now. That problem needs an immediate solution. So here we can use the applied research. Just remember the thing that we are applying it for in order to get an immediate solution. Here the present situation is needs to deal with the applied research. Thus, the central aim of applied research is to discover a solution for some practical problems, pressing practical problems. So here applied research in applied research, a researcher tries to discover a solution, or to find out a solution for some pressing practical problems. So this is the COVID problem. We can just take the example of our present situation. In order to deal with the present situation, in order to deal with this present problem, the applied research can be used over here. So, but whereas basic research is directed towards finding the facts. Basic research is concerned with finding the facts. Why things are happening like this? What are the facts? If one wants to find the facts or information, then one needs to opt for what? Opt for this fundamental research. Then we will come to the quantitative and qualitative research. So simple, qualitative research and quantitative research. So what is qualitative research? Qualitative research, the name itself suggests that quality, something is related to the measurement, measuring the quality. Is it like good or bad quality? What is the quality? Suppose we go to the market and we'll just check it, what is how is the quality, whether the quality of the cloth is good or bad, or whatever. Whenever we go to the shopping mall or to buy groceries, we just check the quality of that product. So that is quality. We just try to measure. Okay. But quantitative research is like, it is related. Sorry, I'm just confused. Now we will discuss the quantitative versus qualitative research. So quantitative research, the name itself suggests that it is something related to, somehow related to the quantity. Quantitative research, so measurement, how much, how many, so kind of. So that is the things we can just measure in quantity, numbers, figures. Okay, so that is quantitative. And qualitative means quality, just what is the quality, whether the quality of, whenever we go to shopping, we just check the quality of the cloth, or whenever we go to buy groceries, we just check the quality of those products or stuff. So here quantity and qualitative, quality or the kind involving quality phenomena relating to the kind. So here I will give you an easy example. Just let me explain first. So quantitative research is based on the measurement of quantity or amount. So quantitative research is concerned with the quantity or the amount. What is the quantity? How much? We have, as I have already said, it is applicable to the phenomenon that can be expressed in terms of quantity. So here it can be applicable to the phenomena that can be expressed in terms of quantity. Qualitative research, on the other hand, is concerned with the qualitative phenomena. So here in qualitative research, the researcher should be concerned with the qualitative phenomena. That is, what is the quality of the product, or what is the quality of a particular thing. it is not concerned with how much, it is concerned with uh, concern about the quality, not about the quantity. For example, when we are interested to study the behavior of the human behavior, we can call it um, qualitative research. So when we want to study the psychology of these street children or the psychology of the elderly people, then it then we can just say that we are doing a research, we are doing a fundamental, sorry, we are doing a qualitative research. So quality, when we are trying to understand the psychosocial conditions of the COVID patients, suppose when we just want to do a study on the social conditions of the COVID patients, or psychological conditions of the COVID patients, or impact of COVID-19 on the elderly people, or on the or among all the people, then it will be considered as qualitative research. And when we say that we just want to study on the rapid increase of COVID-19 among the people of Italy, then that can be termed as quantitative research. I think I'm able to clarify this quantitative and qualitative. So when we want to study the conditions, social, psychological, or suppose human behavior, that when we want to figure out the quality, why people is behaving like this, why people get used to get angry, why some people used to get angry just within a moment, or why people become so aggressive without any reason. So that can be termed as, considered as, that can come under qualitative research. Or when we say that the number of people who used to throw tantrums in the in the age group of 16 to 20. The problem, another example, problems of adolescence, that will come under psychology of the adolescence, or problems of the adolescence will come under qualitative research. And when we say that increasing number of school dropouts in the age group of 12 to 16, then it will come under quantitative research. So qualitative research is especially important in behavioral science. So qualitative research is more important in behavioral science, where the aim is to discover the underlying motives of behavior. So we have already discussed that here in qualitative research, the emphasis is given on the behavioral science, why people behave in a particular way, what are the underlying factors that has led the person to throw tantrums, or what has led the people to become so aggressive, why the adolescent period is termed as period of storm and stress. So that will come under qualitative research. To discover the underlying, so here we just try to discover the discover the motives or the discover the factors. It is just more concerned about the behavioral science. Remember one thing, it is related to the behavioral science. Through qualitative research, we can analyze the various factors. So through qualitative research, we can analyze the various factors which motivate the people to behave in a particular way. So why people behave in a particular way, that can be figured out through qualitative research. Or why people like or dislike a particular thing or a person, that can be figured out through qualitative research. The last one is conceptual versus empirical research. So conceptual research is related to some abstract ideas or theory. So here in conceptual research, when it is just based on some kind of abstract concepts or ideas, abstract that cannot be seen, we will just, for whatever we are thinking in our mind, it is just abstract. Whatever we feel, whatever the kind of emotions, anger, all these are abstract things. So here, when conceptual research is related to the abstract ideas or theory. So here we just make sure just try to understand one thing, that conceptual research is basically related to some abstract ideas or theories. It is generally used by the philosophers or thinkers to develop new concepts or reinterpret existing ones. So here in conceptual research, the researchers are basically who? The researchers are philosophers and thinkers. They have the ability to form some abstract ideas. They have got the ability, or they have the power to form some abstract ideas. They are good thinkers. So here in conceptual research, the researcher tries to form some abstract ideas, and the researchers are basically, it is used by philosophers and thinkers to develop new concepts or to reinterpret the existing ones. So there may be some, they try to formulate new concepts, or they may try to reinterpret or add something to the existing concepts. Either they want to form a new concept or rebuild or reinterpret the existing ones. On the other hand, empirical research relies on experience or observation alone. So while on the other hand, the empirical research is more concerned with the experience, whatever experience we have gathered from our throughout our life. We learned a lot from our real life experiences, isn't it? So here empirical research relies on, it gives more emphasis on the experience or the observations, often without due regard for system and theory. It is data-based research, coming up with the conclusions which are capable of being verified by observation or experiment. So here it is data-based research. Here datas are needed, and here it just comes up with some conclusion. When we do a research, we will come to some conclusions, isn't it? We are doing a research because we need some conclusions or something. We will get some kind of conclusions, facts at the end of our research. So here, when in empirical research, we will come up with some conclusions which are being verified by observation or experimentation. So whatever conclusions we have gathered after doing the research, after carrying out the research, at the end of the research we get some conclusions or facts. That facts can be, or that conclusions can be tested either through observation or experiment. So we can test the research, we can test the conclusions, we can verify the conclusions by through observation, either by observing the conclusion or just by applying, just by doing an experiment. So this kind of research is also called as experimental research. So we can experiment in this research, we can do experiment in this research. So this type of research, that is empirical research. The other name of empirical research is experimental research. So here in such research it is necessary to get at facts first hand. So here the researcher will just rely on the facts, whatever facts he has got after doing the experiments, he will rely on those facts. So those facts are the first hand information, and here the researcher actively goes on actively to go about doing certain things to get stimulate the production of the desired information. So here what the researcher will actively go about doing certain things to stimulate the production of the desired information. Here in such a research, the researcher must first provide himself with a working hypothesis or a guess to the probable results. So here in the empirical research, one needs to formulate a hypothesis. So now most of you are not clear about hypothesis. So what is hypothesis? Hypothesis is just a mere assumption or a tentative statement, kind of whenever we see that the sky is cloudy, then we just assume that it may rain. So that is kind of assumption. We are just assuming tentative statement that it may rain. We are not sure about whether it will rain or not, but we are just assuming that it may rain. Okay, so here hypothesis is, in order to carry out our research, hypothesis is very essential. So hypothesis just direct us to carry our research in a proper way. It just directs our research. It is just simply you try to understand the fact that we are just assumption or making a tentative statement that may be proved to be true or false in the long run, but we don't know what is going to happen. We are just making an assumption. So hypothesis is just a mere assumption. So here in research, in experimental research or empirical research, we need the researcher has to formulate some hypothesis or has to make a guess. Okay, so the another name of a hypothesis is guess, just mere guessing. You whenever just making a guess that this is going to happen, that I may score 70 marks in the exam. You are just guessing after appearing the examination. You are just merely guessing that I may get the marks, but you don't know whether you will get the marks or not. You will know once the result is out. So here in the research also, while doing the research, we don't know what is going to happen in the long run, but we are just making an assumption. Here in empirical research or experimental research, the researcher need to do a working hypothesis. That is, he needs to um, needs to uh, needs to formulate a hypothesis. He then sets up experimental designs which he thinks will manipulate the person or the materials concerned so as to bring forth the desirable information. After uh, preparing the hypothesis, he then sets up some experimental designs. He will just make a experimental design, that is a plan of action. Design is nothing but a plan of action. So he will just make some designs that will manipulate the person or the materials concerned. He will just make some, after hypothesis he will make some design, experimental design, which will manipulate persons or materials concerned to that problem, concerned to that topic, to bring forth with desired information. So through the experimental designs, the researcher can manipulate materials or persons to get the desired information. Such research is thus characterized by experimenters' control over the variables. So here the experimenter, the researcher, has control over variables. But in the earlier research, that is descriptive research, the researcher has no control over the variables. But in experimental research, the researcher has full control over the variables. That means he can just manipulate the variables. But in descriptive research, he can't manipulate. He has to remain it the way it is. Okay, but here in experimental research, the researcher has got the freedom to manipulate the variables. Empirical research is appropriate when proof is sought that certain variables affect other variables in some way. So here empirical research is appropriate when proof is sought, when the proof is whatever the proof is sought that certain variables affect certain variables in some way. So here empirical research is appropriate when we are able to prove that certain variables are able to affect certain variables. So that can be termed as empirical research. Evidence gathered through experiments or empirical studies is today considered to be the most powerful support for a given hypothesis. So evidences, whatever evidences we just gather through experimental or empirical studies is considered, today is considered as the most possible solution, powerful solution for a given hypothesis. So these are the types of research. There are other research as well, but these are the main types of research. So we have just discussed descriptive, analytical, applied, fundamental, quantitative, qualitative, and last but not the least, conceptual and empirical. So these are the types of research. These are the main basic types of research. I just hope that I am able to help you through this class. So just give your comments in the comment sections, and if you have any problem, let me know. I am repeating the same thing again and again, but I'm just trying to help you out. And do let me know what topics you want me to discuss. I will try to help you out in the next class. So for today, so that's it for today. I will try to upload more videos for you all, and thank you.